In the grand chronicle of life, history is replete with paradoxes. Fate is twisted, legacies rewritten.
But seldom has evolution forged a dynasty so profoundly contradictory as the one we examine today.
A branch of the most fearsome predators on Earth that abandoned its ancient, carnivorous birthright.
Now, let us open the chronicle and chart the rise and fall of this great dinosaur dynasty.
Our story begins not with giants, but with shadows.
Deep in the early Cretaceous, the ancestors of this lineage were small, agile coelurosaurs.
They were unremarkable cousins to the ancestors of Tyrannosaurus and Velociraptor, living on the fringes of a world dominated by larger predators.
But here, the fossil record reveals the first subtle deviation. We see teeth once built for tearing flesh beginning to adapt, hinting at a dietary shift.
This was the quiet prologue, the first chapter in an evolutionary rebellion that would see this dynasty completely redefine what it meant to be a theropod. This evolutionary gambit proved spectacularly successful.
As the Cretaceous unfolded, the Therizinosaurids entered their golden age,
Blossoming from humble origins into some of the most bizarre and imposing creatures of the Mesozoic.
This was the era of Therizinosaurus itself, a true titan of the dynasty.
We find its remains in the vast floodplains of late Cretaceous Asia, and the fossils are simply staggering.
Here, the great paradox was perfected and writ large.
These were giants, some standing nearly as tall as a Tyrannosaurus, yet their bodies were radically re-engineered.
They possessed small skulls, long necks, and broad, barrel-chested torsos.
but it was their arms that defied all convention.
They retained the long, powerful limbs of their predatory ancestors, but these arms now terminated in 3 enormous claws.
Scythes of keratin, stretching nearly a meter long. We must ask, what was the purpose of this seemingly contradictory anatomy?
The fossil record strongly suggests these were not weapons of predation, but sophisticated, dual-purpose tools.
Primarily, we interpret them as giant rakes, used to hook and pull down vast quantities of high-growing foliage,
Stripping branches with an efficiency other herbivores could not match.
Secondarily, they were a formidable deterrent.
While not their primary function, these scythes would have given pause to even the most audacious tyrannosaurs.
Securing the dynasty's dominance in their chosen ecological niche.
They had become the undisputed masters of a lifestyle of their own invention.
But this reign, built on such extreme specialization, was a fragile one.
The dynasty's great trial began, as the very world that had nurtured them started to change.
The late Cretaceous was a time of immense geological and floral upheaval. The environments that Therizinosaurus and its kin were so perfectly adapted for began to shrink, fragmented by shifting coastlines and a changing climate.
Their highly specialized diet, once their greatest asset, became their vulnerability. Furthermore, the world was filling with new,
highly efficient herbivores.
The hadrosaurs, the duck-billed dinosaurs, were rising, evolving complex dental batteries capable of processing tough vegetation.
That the Therizinosaurs, with their simpler teeth, could not.
We see in the fossil record that these new dynasties were expanding, competing for the same resources with greater adaptability.
The Therizinosaurids, locked into their unique niche by their giant size and specialized claws, could not innovate.
They were evolutionary marvels, but they were not adaptable.
Faced with increasing competition and a fracturing world, their dominance began to wane. The scythe-bearers, once masters of their domain, were now facing pressures from all sides. And their long, paradoxical reign was entering its twilight.
The dynasty's final act was not a glorious battle, but a slow fade into obscurity.
The last scythe-bearers, survivors like Therizinosaurus, were specialists in a world that now demanded generalization.
They were magnificent relics, clinging to the last vestiges of their shrinking habitats as the Cretaceous drew to its violent close.
When the great asteroid struck, their fate was sealed.
Their specialized, high-intake lifestyle was impossible to sustain in the ensuing apocalypse. They vanished, leaving behind only their enigmatic skeletons, a puzzle of predatory arms and herbivorous bodies that would baffle the human historians who unearthed them millions of years later, a final, silent paradox.
Their story is a potent reminder that evolution does not strive for a final, perfect form. It is a river of constant change, and even the most spectacular dynasties, built on the most improbable of foundations, are ultimately just fleeting empires of biology, destined to be reclaimed by the inexorable passage of time.